I was finally able to get my Polestar 3 scheduled for the Orin upgrade in mid-May. In this video, I'll walk you through the process I went through and share some of the impressions of what has changed after living with the car for a full month after the upgrade. I dropped the car off on a Friday morning.
Hey, this is Kevin with East West Brothers Garage, and I'm here at Volvo Mission Viejo, dropping off my Polestar 3 for the Orin upgrade. So come along and we'll try and share as much information as we can about the upgrade that is supposed to dramatically improve the software experience for the Polestar 3. Hey, Kevin here again with East West Brothers Garage. So I just dropped off the Polestar 3 with Volvo Mission Viejo for my service, and I'm currently sitting in the back of my Polestar 2 loaner car from the dealer, and I'm currently awaiting updates on my car. One potential problem or one issue we may run into, as I've been informed of by my dealer, is that apparently there is a dearth of Polestar technicians who are qualified to work on the vehicle. And right now, Polestar South Coast, which is again their service department is housed at Volvo Mission Viejo. They do not have a certified technician who can work on the Polestar cars. And so they're currently waiting for one of the Volvo techs to get certified. And once he's certified, they will be able to resume work. But just so that folks are aware, it may be a little while if you use Polestar South Coast for any of your Polestar service, maybe a little while before any of your cars get worked on. So more to come, and I should have further updates for you all hopefully early next week.
Yeah, that's right. The dealer informed me that they didn't actually have a credentialed tech to work on the car, and the only possible tech was taking the exam on Friday to try to get certified to work on the Polestar 3. You can imagine that was a cause for some alarm. On Monday, I waited until almost noon to check with my service advisor to see if the car was being worked on. He assured me that they had started the work, so I had nothing to do but wait. I would periodically check my Polestar app to see if the software version of the car changed, and finally, around 4 p.m., I got the first indications that the final software update had completed. That meant the hardware and software had both been installed. I was antsy to get my car, so I headed to the dealer to pick up the car, even though they hadn't actually called me. When they turned the car over to me, it took a little bit to get the seats to power on and adjust back to my correct profile, but it did eventually work. Once the profile loaded properly, everything started falling into place. I verified the software version in the car and looked for and promptly found the Homelink app. Things were looking up. On my drive home, the new feature to allow me to adjust the following distance popped up as expected. Honestly, while I appreciate that this exists, I really don't use it much since I tend to maintain a set distance and leave it alone. The pilot assist did not feel much different to me, and the lane change assist was no more assertive than it had been in the past. When I got home, I quickly set up the Homelink and verified that it worked. Success! Now, I no longer needed to have the separate remote for my home garage door. Unfortunately, this implementation of Homelink suffers from the same issues as every other one when it comes to working with LiftMaster remotes, so I still needed to keep my community gate remote in the car. Total bummer. The most important thing, however, was to test whether the vampire drain had disappeared. That required a bit more time So I've continued to log my charging sessions and using the car's journey log tool to pull data from the car. The initial results are in, and the vampire drain is almost entirely a thing of the past. However, there does appear to be one caveat. The car is either not correctly displaying the actual state of charge, or the journey log data is showing a more accurate reflection of the real state of charge. For example, my first charging session after the upgrade was capped at 80%. In the past, when I charged to 80%, it showed 80% in the dash display, and the journey log reflected 80% state of charge as well. This first charge after the upgrade, however, showed 80% on the dash display, but the journey log only showed it as 75%. Thinking that this might just be an anomaly, I cleared the charge limit and allowed the car to charge to 100%, figuring that maybe the battery just needed to recalibrate. That resulted in a dash display of 100%, but the journey log started at 98%. My most recent charging session was once again capped at 80%, and the journey log data showed the car's starting charge at 77%. So, not sure if there's going to be a pattern to this, but I intend to keep an eye on it. One other issue that cropped up only after the Orin upgrade is that my front camera would occasionally not function, leaving a big gaping black blob on my 360 camera view. Slightly problematic, but it has only happened a couple times and has not persisted. Another issue that I will be keeping an eye out for. So in the end, was the Orin upgrade worth the wait? Abso-effin-lutely. As much as it was a pain in the ass to have to deal with it, and the lack of communication from Polestar about the upgrade availability and timeline resulted in a significant delay, I still think not losing around 10% of each battery to vampire drain is absolutely worth the trouble. Some of the additional features, like the auto folding side view mirrors and the Homelink, are nice to have, but I could have lived without those. The Park Assist Pilot is a great party trick, but it is too slow to be able to rely on it. But keeping more of the battery charge makes the whole ridiculous process worth it. If you found this video helpful, please make sure to like and subscribe to our channel. It helps us to continue to create content and share our experiences to help you. I plan to continue to collect data on this car and will share periodic updates as new software and features become available. I've got another 1.5 years with the car, and I plan to enjoy every moment of driving it. On a final note, I suspect many of you have heard about the recent decision by the US government to ban Polestar from selling cars past the 2026 model year. This stems from a rule created to limit the sale of cars with software tied to China, although Volvo was able to successfully file for the waiver. Some folks have speculated that this was just an opportune moment for Polestar to exit the US market, which has not been a particularly high-volume one for the brand. Polestar, in an effort to keep customers from losing hope, has already sent out messaging to try to assure current owners and lessees that they intend to continue to operate their network of service locations and support current vehicles. While I don't doubt that software will continue to roll out OTA because Polestar is quite popular in the rest of the world, it's hard to imagine that they'll do any more than encourage existing Volvo dealers to offer service support for the cars for a few more years. That said, I do genuinely love to drive my Polestar 3. It hasn't been completely problem-free, but it's not anywhere near as dramatic as some of the worst cases I've read about on the forums and Reddit. The car is a unique combination of amazing performance, versatility, genuine comfort, and a mind-blowingly good sound system. Best of all, it's rare. I love driving a car that almost no one ever sees. Since the announcement of the pending sales ban, I've been thinking about what I would actually be willing to consider for my next car. Honestly, there isn't another car quite like it on the market. I'm going to have to sacrifice one of the characteristics, and buying out my lease isn't really an option with Polestar exiting the US market. I still have more than 18 months to make a decision, so I'm going to be paying extra close attention to what hits the market and hoping that something else that catches my attention arrives in time. Anyhow, thanks for watching. Please help us continue to grow the channel by liking and subscribing. Hit the bell icon to be notified of future videos when they post.